What is the photo that has the creepiest backstory? The red car beside them was a car bomb that went off shortly after this picture was taken. The photographer died, but the main subjects of the photo, man and the child, survived. A total of 29 people died in the blast. The toddler in the photo is James Bulger. He is being led away from his mother by one of the two 10-year-old boys who abducted and would later murder him. Here's a paragraph from Wikipedia. At the trial, it was established that at this location, one of the boys threw blue Humbrol modeling paint, which they had shoplifted earlier, into Bulger's left eye. They kicked and stomped on him and threw bricks and stones at him. Batteries were placed in Bulger's mouth. Police believed some batteries may have been inserted into his anus, although none were found there. Finally, a 22-pound, 10.0 kilograms, iron bar, described in court as a railway fish plate, was dropped on him. Bulger suffered 10 skull fractures as a result of the iron bar striking his head. Dr. Alan Williams, the case's pathologist, stated that Bulger suffered so many injuries, 42 in total, that none could be isolated as the fatal blow. Cottrell F didn't reveal this one, so I figured I'd throw it in here. A post-mass suicide photo from the Heaven's Gate group in 1997. They thought by committing mass suicide they could get aboard an alien spaceship following the Hale-Bopp comet. They're all wearing the same thing, including a specific model of Nike athletic shoes. Not the only photograph from the aftermath, but I remember seeing it 17 years ago, and it still gives me chills to think that more than 30 people could be so convinced that nonsense was real that they offed themselves for it. Surprised that this photo hasn't shown up yet. Omaira Sanchez, shortly before dying after being pinned in water for 3 days. Omaira Sanchez Garzon, August 28, 1972, November 16, 1985, was a Colombian girl killed in Armero, Department of Tolima, by the 1985 eruption of the Nevado del Ruiz volcano when she was 13 years old. Volcanic debris mixed with ice to form massive lahars, volcanically induced mudslides, landslides, and debris flows that rushed into the river valleys below the mountain, killing nearly 25,000 people and destroying Armero and 13 other villages. After a lahar demolished her home, Sanchez became pinned beneath the debris of her house. She remained trapped in water for 3 days. Her plight was documented as she descended from calmness into agony. Her courage and dignity touched journalists and relief workers who put great efforts into comforting her. After 55 hours of struggling, she died, likely as a result of either gangrene or hypothermia. Her death highlighted the failure of officials to respond promptly to the threat of the volcano, contrasted with the efforts of volunteer rescue workers to reach and treat trapped victims. Despite a dearth of supplies and equipment, Sanchez became internationally famous through a photograph of her taken by the photojournalist Frank Fournier shortly before she died. When published worldwide, it generated considerable controversy. It was later designated the World Press Photo of the Year for 1985. Sanchez has remained a lasting figure in popular culture, remembered through music, literature, and commemorative articles. Without a doubt, this one. This picture of 14-year-old Regina K. Walters was taken by serial killer Robert Ben Rhodes, who toured the country in an 18-wheeler equipped with a torture chamber in the back. This photo was taken in an abandoned Illinois barn where Rhodes killed Walters after cutting off her hair and making her wear a black dress and heels. This picture shows a bunch of friends and I. Halfway through the night, we decided to take a group picture. Let it be known that everyone at this party knew each other's full names, and it was at a low-key type place. Anyways, if you look closely, in the far right of the picture shows a head peeping in. No one knows who this person is, and no one can recall seeing him from the night before. We figured this out once it was uploaded to FB and got a better look at the picture. It still does give me the chills. Inside a crashing plane with no survivors. This is a photograph developed after it was found in the debris of Air New Zealand Flight 901, which crashed into Mimit Erebus, Antarctica, during a 1979 sightseeing flight. All 257 on board were killed. The photograph was taken out of a window, and brown fluid is splashed against it. This is most likely hydraulic oil or fuel which has sprayed against the window due to the impact of the engines and wing with the mountainside. There also exists video footage from within the plane, earlier in the flight, and at the moment of impact. However, this is difficult or impossible to find online. The elephant's foot, the molten remains of the Chernobyl reactor, a combination of molten control rods, cement, nuclear fuel, and hubris called corium. The elephant's foot was so lethal that if you saw it, you were already dead. The amount of radiation it emitted would kill anyone close enough to visually look at it. It even melted the primitive robots they sent in to film it. The only original photos they had of it were taken by using a mirror to reflect the light, but not as much radiation, down the hallway. Why is this the creepiest backstory to me? This was man-made. It's not unexplained, it has no occult or metaphysical bullshit attached to it. This is a known consequence of well-known physical laws, a slab of rock that kills you if you get close enough to even look at it. And in the 30 years since Chernobyl, we've only gotten better at making this stuff. This photograph is not mine, and right now I can't say this picture is real or fake. I only know a bit of the backstory. I actually found it on Reddit. So these 5 girls decided to pose for a picture. Assuming the quality of the photo, it appears it was taken in the early to mid-2000s, but I could be wrong. When the person who found the picture, they noticed a young girl to the bottom right whose hand is sticking up to the camera. It almost appears as if her hand is overlapping the one on 31. It is also interesting the fact that she has red eyes, but none of the other girls have red eyes. Whether this is real or fake, it's still pretty creepy. I don't have a picture of my own to share. This is the best I've got. American Airlines Flight 191 seconds after losing its left engine on takeoff from ORD and plummeting into the ground, killing 273. I remember this well as I was throwing the Washington Post as a youngster and recall seeing this above the fold that morning. All I could think about for months after was, what were those people on the plane thinking about at that very moment? I still get chills now thinking of the chills I got over 30 years ago. The Columbine 1999 class photo. In the top left corner, there's a small group of people pretending to shoot at the camera. The one in the black hat is Eric Harris, and the one with the sunglasses is Dylan Klebold, the shooters of the Columbine massacre. This photo was only taken a few weeks beforehand. This picture of the BTK killer always stuck with me. It's just his overall vibe here. He's so uncomfortably close to this tree, like he doesn't really know how to stand or behave in front of a camera. Almost like he's so uncertain that he can't just be. It'd be an absolutely hilarious photo if he hadn't killed 10 people. In this photo a man took of his wife diving. You can probably see another diver on the seafloor. That's Tina Watson. A few minutes before this photo, her husband turned off her air supply and held her underwater until she drowned. He then went up to the surface and told the other divers she was in trouble, and you can see someone else swimming to try and save her. He did serve 12 months in prison in Australia for manslaughter. As a plea bargain, neither he nor the court knew if he was going down for murder. When he returned home to Alabama, the U.S. courts tried to get him on the grounds that he'd planned the murder there, but he got off due to lack of evidence. Australian authorities refused to help with the American trial, as they'd broken an extradition clause not to push for the death penalty. This is a case that has fallen out of popularity, sadly, though I still pray it will get solved one day. This is the last photo of Abby Williams, 13, taken by her friend Liberty German, 14, on Monon High Bridge in Delphi, Indiana. Quickly following the picture, a video is taken by German, an obscured one of a man, head down, quickly approaching the girls. After the girls fail to return to the location where one of the girls' father planned to pick them up, police come and search the area. The effort is fleet as night quickly approaches. Believing the girls are in no immediate danger, it is decided to resume the search tomorrow. The girls' bodies are found the next day on the other side of the trail. Both the video and a snip of audio of their killer has been shared to the public, but no arrests have ever been made. This is a photo of Robert Falcon Scott and his team at the South Pole. It is not a victory pose. They are the second group to ever reach the South Pole. They spent years trying only to be beaten by Roald Amundsen by like 6 weeks. The creepy part is that they all died shortly after this photo was taken on their way back home. One died after a series of falls, the second re-aggravated an old wound and then sacrificed himself to a blizzard. The last 3 had got trapped in their tent only 11 miles from a supply depot that would have saved their lives. This photo shows the dark side of the race to the poles. This wasn't even that dark compared to some other stuff that happened in Antarctica. If you want to learn more, Vox has an amazing video on it titled, The Deadly Race to the South Pole. The original backstory. A couple of months ago, my friend's cousin, a single mother, had gotten a new cell phone. After a long day of work, she placed her phone down on the counter and started watching TV when her son came to her and asked if he could play with her new phone. She told him to not call anyone or mess with text messages, and he agreed to do so. At around 11:20 p.m., when she was getting tired, she decided to tuck her son in and go to bed herself. She proceeded to his room to see that he wasn't there. She went to her room to find him sleeping on her bed with the phone in his hand. Browsing through her phone, she noticed only minor changes, such as a new background, banner, etc., and headed towards the picture section. She began deleting the pictures she took when she came across the last one. When she first saw it, she couldn't believe it. It was her son, sleeping on her bed, but it was as if the picture was taken by someone else above him. It shows the left half of what seems to be an elderly woman's face. Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more stories.